What's up, Axie fam? I'm trying to keep up. I am doing my best to digest as much information as I can and give it to you as quickly as I can. Talk about theory crafting or which card I like because it doesn't give anything new to the community. I kind of believe that kind of sentiment that everybody's adding this, but like there's so much missing information for the puzzle that you can't really truly start assembling a lot of things. I've mentioned a couple of things based off what we know, but really those things can just go out the window immediately, especially if they make any modifications to the current leaks before Origin comes out. Let's get back into it. Right here he's mentioned, well, of course we all see the pervert Axie watching a lonely Axie in his or her bath. Actually, Parasite, that card's a little and also there's another Axie leak Origin card. I think the art will be changed because the guy is eating paste. I understand this is meant for 18 and plus because you have to be 18 years of age or legal age in whatever country you're in to interact with the smart contracts on the Ronin blockchain. But still, I think we should try to keep it a little bit classier. We have something important to discuss here. As usual, after a leak, we always have a secret meeting with Mr. S, referring to Jeff Shade, the lead product designer, developer for Sky Mavis. Well, it's not actually secret because it was in the Axie Discord and blah, blah, blah. Again, we had some questions back and forth between Shade in the Discord, and these were the questions that were asked. Let's get into it. Question: Arco prevents the opponent to trigger secrets or your Axie. Quite confusing description. Shade: when you use Arco, the attack will not trigger secrets. So imagine secrets more like trap cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! But these cards say these do not affect traps from triggering. Monarch? I think it's a Monarch? Anyways, let's move on. Question: does bump and gain shield stack over the whole game? And Shade, this is super important. Holy moly. Oh, hold on. Okay, so this is a loaded question because it makes me think that shields do retain from turn to turn, which is huge. That changes the gameplay tremendously. But I think what he's answering here is, does the effect last the whole game? And Shade's saying yes. So, okay, let's go to the next one. Question: can you explain Shoalstar? Will it kill the enemy even if it hits the shield? And Shade says specifically, Shoalstar ignores the shield amount. If the Axie's HP is 120 or less, even if they have 1,000 shield, flatlines them. Instantly KOs the Axie. So Shoalstar only doing 50 damage could be a tremendous player. Move on. Question: would you mind clearing up this seeming contradiction? We know they're the same and it is intentional. What he's referring to here is how we have a plant move, leak, and we have another card, numbing location. Those are a plant move and a bug move. They do essentially the same exact thing. Why does the same exact card exist? But which is weird is they're not pointing out that almost all the mouth cards are the same. And it's because you need your Axies to be as pure as possible. Because purity affects how runes work and how far you can level up that rune. So less pure Axie may have that rune available, level up only to like level 3 instead of a pure Axie being able to. Pure Axie might be able to take that same rune to level 5 or level 13. I don't know. He says, why do you have the same? Can you clear that up? What's the deal? There are more cards that are the same as well, but a pure plant with Hatsune is not the same as a 6/7 plant with Gravelant, because that would reduce the plant's purity. So it won't be able to use the best charms because it has less purity. Can you clear up what that means by 7/7? He says, there are currently no charms that require 7 out of 7 purity. A 7 out of 7 purity might be able to equip 3 really good charms. There are currently no charms that require 7 out of 7 purity. A 7 out of 7 though might be able to equip 3 really good charms, but a 6 out of 7 will only be able to equip like 2 really good charms and a single mid-tier charm, for example. So take that into consideration when you're making your purchases. Question: I think I didn't understand this math very well. Isn't a charm for each body part? A 7 out of 7 would be able to equip 3 really good charms because they require specific body parts purity? There is an entire purity and charm system that we have not revealed yet. It's not supposed to make sense yet. When I say purity system, I just mean the way that part purity and charms work together. It seems Origin is easier to play. You don't have to count opponent's energy. There's no mechanics around shield and attack bonus, rock, paper, scissors, advantage and disadvantage. So it seems the skill will be all around power-ups and comp building. Isn't it decreasing the amount of skills needed to thrive in arena or the ladder board. I'm assuming what he's implying. Origin is a brand new game. Origin levels the playing field in terms of counting energy and cards. I think that there will be new ways of outplaying your opponent. Too early to tell, and that part of the meta won't be unlocked or discovered until the best players get their hands on the game. Skills that make the top players good in V2 may not completely be applicable in Origin. The ability to count and track cards, the ability to add up damage, the ability to factor in advantage and disadvantage, tracking your opponent's cards, stuff like that. It's very important at the upper echelons of the leaderboard. Will Origin have normal and ranked game mode? He said Origin PvP will be ranked and practice mode. I'm guessing all practice mode will be together and all arena will be together. Practice mode will be the people that don't own their Axies, that are just learning how to play with the free Axies. And there's going to be a system where you can unlock them. I can put a video up there, but they have the 9 Axies imaged in one of their merch, and they have a couple listed. Like Bubba was one of the first ones they released. Question: do we have some sort of debuff against healing? Shade says yes. There are ways to counter or hinder opponents' healing. I imagine you don't have any of those released yet, so they have to be on eyes and ears. A debuff they haven't released yet. Question: I think some people just assume that the number next to the class symbol in a charm is the number of body of that class required, but it could be something else. The number on the charm does not directly correspond to part purity. It's a little more elaborate than that. And what I think he's talking about is right here is the leveling system. So epic charms can only have 5 levels, and lesser charms have like 13 levels. So if you have one that's less pure, have a mid-tier charm that may be able to get to level 13, but an S-tier or God-tier charm would only be like level 5, like your epic or your mystic part. Question: how does cuckoo bonus damage interact with AOE abilities? This is huge. This is big. This is big. This will save me a video. It says if you use a card that says attack all enemies and there are 3 enemies, then it will attack each one by 1. So 3 attacks. Cuckoo only works on the next attack. So only the first hit, not the second and third. Cuckoo is good, but not that good. And I knew it. I knew that when it buffed, I have this in a comment, I'll have to find it somewhere. I said, if it buffs Buzz Buzz, the Buzz Buzz damage gets the Cuckoo up attack. And the other ones are its base damage. Those can't be modified. Bam! So good at this. Can Cuckoo target self? He says, yes. Target an ally includes the Axie that used it. Question: would there be a buff debuffs leak soon that details the effect of bleed, burn, void, all of those? Jinx. We have a whole bunch of them. He says, we haven't decided if we want to leak it before the release yet or let people discover those, I'm assuming. So there's some type of exciting discoverability at the start. That way not people like me that are just collecting as much information as possible don't have a significant advantage over other people because we haven't actually played the game yet, right? Question: I am wondering about the definition on battle. Would this refer to a full round, which all your Axies move? Shade says, battle means the entire battle, the entire match, the game. Battle ends when someone wins. So what he's implying is things like Nut and Little Owl that buff all your Little Owls by 6 damage. So every time you use a Nut, the next one's going to be 66. The next one's going to be 72, 78, 84. It keeps climbing and climbing and climbing, which is really good because it means those beasts you want to get off the board ASAP, right? So you need to focus the beasts, but then taunts come into play, blah, blah, blah. It's super exciting. Little Owl could be very good in the right, like, double plant bird matchup. Question: would Koi give damage boost plus 45 in triple aqua team or plus 30? Shade says plus 45. 165 damage for triple aqua team. Remember that all abilities are still subject to balancing. 165 is a lot. That is a grip. Imagine if the Inkling, because I'm imagining Inkling is a summon, and that counts as an aqua, then all of a sudden your Koi is hitting for even more. So it's hitting for like 180. Question regarding the bleed. Was it when the one with bleed gets attacked or he attacks? Shade says Axie A attacks Axie B with Piranha. Piranha B now has bleed. Axie B attacks Axie A. Axie B now takes damage because it has bleed. So it's when it attacks, not when it gets attacked. So the comps that I thought would be really good with bleed and feather fan and bleed with perch or tri-spikes, not as good. However, bleed is good against those teams. So bleed kind of counters the multi-attack strategies. So that's kind of interesting. Question, by the way, Shade, would energy increase as the battle prolongs itself? As in round 1, 2 energy, round 2, 3 energy, round 3, 4 energy. I'm assuming they're trying to figure out if it's going to be like a Shadowverse or Hearthstone. Shade says no. I'm assuming it's going to be constantly refilling the same amount, 3 energy every turn at the start of every turn, regardless of how much you used the previous turn. So a lot like Slay the Spire more than anything. Question, would it be possible for one Axie to equip charms from multiple classes at once? He says yes. It's based on part class. Hotbutt can equip a plant charm. Parasite can equip a bug charm. So that's pretty cool. So you can have mixed breeds that could be useful. They then talked about Parasite, Card, and Arco that could be good for countering. He says, question, but a very specific counter, probably anti-secret decks, but that's it. Shade says, a majority of defensive abilities are secrets though. I can't predict the meta, but Arco might be more useful than we think. I think so as well. I'll leave the full link so you can read everything down in the description below. One last question, can I ask how much HP does summons have? Shade says, it depends on the summon, not all the same. Bam! Mic drop. Thanks for watching the video. Follow me on Twitter if you want to support the channel and all these awesome videos that I'm contributing to the economy. I have my ronin down below if you want to. Good luck in your matches. 1 day left in the season. See you in the next video.